It's a beautiful rainy day here in Wisconsin, but we've had some sunshine as well. And today I bring you sunshine in the form of a necklace. So today we're going to be creating with furnace glass. That's exciting. We have not had furnace glass for quite a while. Well, except for last week, of course. Last week we made, did you guys hear the thunder? Yes, it's really trying to rain right now. So, what is it like where you are? Is it raining? Is it storming? We're just hoping for not a bad storm. Either way, we have some vibrant colors and some sunshine in the form of my furnace glass necklaces, and I'm calling these Furnace Fiesta Necklace, and this one is Tropical Citrus. So this is very vibrant yellows and oranges. So we have Tropical Citrus, we have Kaleidoscope, and did we call this one Tropical Lagoon?
We did indeed.
We did, yay! And of course, this is all very much inspired by the colors that are used in these necklaces.
Ellen says, hi, Irina and everyone.
Hi, Ellen.
Fonda says, good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday.
Hi, Fonda, and happy Thursday to you, my friend.
And Fonda says, my dog is going crazy right now with the thunder.
Oh no, poor baby. We're so lucky because our doggy is, well, he just doesn't care. He's like me. He sleeps through everything. But I feel for you. Is there anything you can give him? I bet you could give him something. So we have 3 different colorways, and we can probably start right about now. I'm happy to say that Facebook really complied with us today, and so we're starting more or less on time. So I'm going to do this as if we just received our kit, and now we are opening our kit. We're excited, and we are going to start with the furnace glass beads. So I know that in the past couple of videos when I was featuring the furnace glass, I talked about how it's made. And because of the process when they make furnace glass, as you know, some beads are going to be a little smaller, some beads are going to be a little larger. So because of that, the very first thing we're going to do once we receive our kit is just take your furnace glass beads out and lay them out so that it is graduated. You can see how I have the largest bead right in the center, and then I have my smaller beads towards the ends, with the very tiniest ones being at the very ends.
Lynn says, hi, everyone.
Hi, Lynn. I'm so glad you're joining us.
Fonda says, I told her about it. That's about all that comforts her.
Oh, poor baby. And I hear that lavender oil, so you have to dilute it, of course, but lavender oil can be super helpful for our little furry friends. And if anybody else has other ideas, maybe you can put them in the chat. What do you guys do when our dogs or cats, or I don't know, hamsters, chinchillas, when they're a little stressed out? What do you guys do? Let's share all that in the chat, please.
Allie says, hi, everyone. Great necklace.
Thank you so much, Allie. Okay, ladies. So before we start stringing, so you're going to take out your furnace glass, you're going to lay it out so that it's nicely graduated with the largest beads in the center. If you are working, I purposely kept this one on my table. So if you are creating the kaleidoscope variation, you are going to have not only different colors of beads. This one is very, very colorful. So not only will you have different colors of furnace glass, but you will also have different colors of bicones. And yes, these are still Swarovski bicones. In fact, a friend of mine just contacted me today. She is the former editor of Bead and Button magazine, and she is writing an article about what happened to bead stores once Swarovski pulled out of our industry. So I can't wait to see her, Kathy. If you're watching, I can't wait to see you. So we're going to get together and we're going to talk about it, and she's going to put it in an article, and at some point we can all read it. So that's exciting. But anyway, there's a reason why I brought this up, and that is because we actually ordered a lot of Swarovski before they stopped selling to our industry. So I am still using Swarovski crystals for a lot of these kits, and I'm just placing them where they're going to be. You may have noticed, or maybe you haven't, that the bicones in the lagoon variation are a little bit smaller. Those are 5 millimeters. In the other two, so the Tropical Lagoon has the 5 millimeter Swarovski bicones. The Kaleidoscope has the 6 millimeter bicones, and the Tropical Citrus has also the 6 millimeter bicones. So just wanted to let you know that they're not exactly alike.
Jeline and Julie say hello.
Hello, ladies. I'm so glad you joined us today.
Allie's wondering where the article will be for public viewing. Sounds really interesting.
Oh, you know what? As soon as I find out, you guys will be the first to know. I think it was in the email. I think she did tell me, but I don't remember right now. But as soon as the article comes out, I will let you know. Okay, guys, so let's get started. So this is going to be the order of my beads, and I am going to need my soft flex wire, and this is the medium soft flex wire that we're using for this one. And it's not even so much because the beads are heavy. They're really not heavy. The reason we're using the slightly larger soft flex this time is because when I have beads with very large holes, I like to go a little bit larger. So I'm grabbing my crimp beads right now, and we're going to need a couple of crimp covers, and we're going to need a couple of wire guardians. So we're just going to put all of this right here in front of me.
Kim K says happy Thursday, everyone.
Hi, Kim, and happy Thursday to you. Okay, ladies, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to string one of our crimp beads onto the soft flex wire.
Yolanda says hello, Irina, Tony, and all.
Hello, Yolanda. So glad you joined us. And now I'm going through one side of the wire guardian, and we're going to go through the other side of the wire guardian, and the and is going to go right back into our crimp bead. So just be ready for this soft flex wire to be a little bit heavier than my normal go-to small, or 0.014. This is 0.019. So before I do anything else, I like to just move the two sides of the wire guardian a little bit closer. And that will also minimize the distance between the crimp and the wire guardian. So all I want is just a little space. I want about 1 millimeter's worth of space between the crimp and the wire guardian. And this is because I need that little space for my crimp cover in a minute. So in the meantime, as you guys all know, the crimper has two openings. The opening that's the closest to me is kidney bean shaped. I don't know if you can see. And then the other opening, the opening that's closer to the nose of the crimper, is oval shaped. We are going to line up our crimp in the kidney bean shaped opening. And we're just going to squeeze, and squeeze it like you mean it. I know everybody, when they first get started, they're afraid to really squeeze that crimp, but really, it's fine. Just squeeze it like you mean it. I don't think you can break it. And again, we're going to reline up our crimp, this time putting it in the oval opening. And you can see it's kind of perpendicular to how it was before. So initially, the position was like this. And now we are putting it in the oval opening, and it's a slightly different position. And in fact, if you look in between the jaws of our crimper, you can see the fold in the crimp. I don't know if you guys can see it. Can you guys see right there in between the jaws of our crimper? Tony's making a face like maybe not, but you guys have done this like a schmillion times, so you know exactly what I'm saying. So now I'm just going to give it a good squeeze again. And again, squeeze it like you mean it. You can't break it. And we're going to cut off the excess wire. So that little wire end, we don't need it anymore.
Kim K is wondering if it's still a 2x2 crimp.
Yes, Kim, thank you so much for asking. It is still a 2x2 crimp. Pretty much 2x2 crimps are the only crimps I use. I'm sure somewhere there's going to be a little bit of an exception. Of course, leather crimps do not count. I'll be showing leather crimps tomorrow. That doesn't count. But with soft flax, yes, 2x2 is my go-to size. And so once I have crimped my little crimp bead, I'm going to put a crimp cover right over the crimp. Here, let me turn it so it looks like a little Pac-Man. And oh, and there's a little crimp stuck in there. So actually I have a couple right in front of me. So this is what it looks like. It's like an open round bead, and we're going to make it into a closed round bead as soon as we put it over the crimp. So there we go. So the crimp is right in the center, and I'm going to use my chain nose to slowly start squeezing. Okay, so I'm squeezing very slowly, very controlled, and you can do one side, another side a little bit. So this one is moving a little bit, but that's okay. We can still keep going. And you are going to get to this point where you still have a large opening, but the crimp cover cannot go any further. And that is because the crimp cover is touching a little bit on this side and on the other side, right at the opening, right? So we still have this large open seam, and we're going to close that seam with our chain nose pliers just by, you see how I was holding the crimp cover like this initially, and now I'm going to shift it so that I'm only pressing on one side of the crimp cover at a time. And so there's a little bit of finesse involved. So I did a little bit on one side. Now I just turned it. And again, I'm going to reposition my pliers so that I'm only pressing on one side at a time. And you can turn it a couple of times if you need to. And the goal is to close it where it looks like just like a round bead. You might still be able, in fact, you still will be able to see the seam, but you can see it just looks like a seam in a bead right there. Okay, so now that we have closed our crimp cover, we can start stringing. And we'll just go in the exact order that we laid out our beads, spacing our furnace glass beads with the 5mm bicones. Again, this is the only color that has the 5mm bicones. The other two colors have the 6mm bicones because I didn't have the beautiful indicolite in the 6mm bicones. As you know, we have not been able to buy Swarovski for what, close to a couple of years now, I think. And so we're starting to run out of just a few things, you know, just a couple of sizes and maybe a few colors, but we still have a very nice selection. But whatever we're selling out of, we are replacing with Preciosa. And they have some fairly comparable colors, and actually I've been really liking their quality. Okay, so here we go. This is our focal point, so this little centerpiece, and now we're going to do the same exact thing on the other side of our centerpiece, meaning we will string our crimp bead onto the soft flex wire, let it drop down, and we will follow that by stringing through our wire guardian. And you will notice that the fit is a little bit different. You can see it's taking me a little bit longer to get my wire guardian on, and that is because using the medium-sized soft flex wire is just a bit more snug when it comes to stringing it through those channels on the wire guardian. I have to back it up a little bit and go through my crimp. And now we're going to move both the crimp and the wire guardian a lot closer to our beads. Now, even though we want to be close, we still want to leave a little bit of room. So how much room? Well, first of all, we're going to squeeze the wire guardian just a little, and that is going to help us move the crimp a little bit. And so now let's estimate. So our crimp cover is about 4mm. So we want 1mm on this side, and we want about 2 to 3mm on the side of the crimp that is closer to the beads, that is closest, I should say, to the beads. So we actually want to leave about 2 to 3mm between the crimp and the closest bead. And this is so that when you actually wear your necklace, it can move really nicely. You can see I'm able to move it. And that is because if you were to bunch up all of the beads, you can actually, and keep it straight in a straight line. So you can see, and I would have to hold it like this. I don't know if you guys can see it. You can see that there's like a millimeter between the bicone and the crimp cover. So that is really, really important, because if you make it all really snug, you are not going to be able to drape your necklace like this. It's just not going to drape very nicely. Okay, so we are going to use our crimper again and line up with our kidney bean shaped opening. And I like to make sure that I can't see the crimp at all. It's entirely within the crimper. And now we're going to give it a squeeze and line it up again with our oval shaped opening. And again, we're going to crimp. And now we can just cut off our excess soft flex wire. So, and you know, every once in a while I mention this, some people think that it's helpful to feed the excess wire into the beads. I find it extremely impractical. So in the meantime, I'm just going to cover the crimp bead with my crimp cover. And as we're closing it, we'll chat about why it is so very impractical to feed your wire through the beads. So first of all, it doesn't really accomplish anything at all. It's certainly not going to hold any better if you feed your wire end through your beads. Secondly, depending on the hole in your beads and the size of the wire, you may not actually be able to do that. I'm just lining up my crimp cover. So you might not even be able to go through twice, depending on the beads you have. But most importantly, when it pulls out, it's going to poke you right in the neck. And I don't think you're looking for that feeling. Okay, ladies, so here is our focal point. And so once we've made that, we're going to start on this little handmade chain. So you can see I have a couple of colors. They're alternating colors of 4mm thunder polish, and here is the colorway that we are creating today. So I have some turquoise colored beads, and then I have some that are more like a blue turquoise, maybe with a hint of sapphire. And so we are going to grab our beads. So these are the two colors I'm using today. And we're going to start making a wrapped loop. And just to remind you, when you make a wrapped loop, we're going to start by bending our wire to a 90-degree angle like this. And we're doing that with our chain nose pliers, and then we're going to switch either to our round nose pliers, or in my case, I really like using the bail making pliers, and I'll be using the larger side of the bail making pliers. So I like to start maybe 5-6 millimeters out, and just start rolling your pliers in until you have half a loop like that. So that looks like half a loop, or like a question mark.
Yolanda says pretty and colorful.
Oh, thank you so much, Yolanda. I really appreciate it. And so now, just with your hand or with your fingers, you just take the end of the wire and just cross over it like that. And that is going to give us a perfect little loop. And before we actually wrap our loop, we're going to connect. So, you know what I love about using, gosh, I just said it like a million times.
The
Wire Guardians. Yes, and we said it together, jinx. Okay, so what is awesome about using the Wire Guardians is not only do they protect your wire, but they also give you a wonderful place to connect, and it looks clean, and it looks professionally made. Without the Wire Guardian, it's not quite the same look. So now we're going to hold on to our loop as we make two little coils around the working wire. And so once I have my two coils, I am going to use my wire cutter, and then we always want to pinch in the end. So now I'm going to figure out, let's see, what color am I using as my first bead? Okay, it's the turquoise color. I had to refer to my sample. So we're going to put one of our little turquoise beads on here. And hold on to it as you make another bend in your wire. So another 90-degree angle. And I left a little space, a little like a 1 millimeter space for my double coils. And now I'm going to make another loop.
Karen says, I like to hang a charm or a dangle from the Wire Guardian, keeps it away from the clasp.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, I had to think about it just for a second. That's a wonderful idea.
Kim K says, that does look so much better. Great tip. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kim. Okay, ladies, so I'm making my loop, and we're just going to follow exactly the same steps. Make sure it's centered. If it's not, I'm tweaking it a little bit right now. And we are going to, again, hold on to the loop with our chain nose pliers and just guide the wire right into that little space we made. So just two little coils and done. And you know, if you made a slightly larger space or a slightly smaller space, just do whatever number of coils will fit. If it's 1 or 1.5 or 3, that's okay. So the whole point is that you don't want bare wire. You want to fill all of your wire with coils, and you also don't want to force. So as soon as you fill that little space, we're done. And now, through the magic of Facebook Live, I actually have some of the chain already created, most of the chain. And we are just going to use the same technique. We're going to hook right into the previous loop, and again, holding, maybe I'll make this loop just a tiny bit smaller. And so holding onto the loop with our chain nose pliers, I am coiling into that little space and cut the excess wire off and pinch in the end. And there's our one side. So I left this loop open so that I can connect to the next component. But in the meantime, we need more than just this side. We actually need two of them. So again, through the magic of Facebook Live, I have my other little chain. So this is a little handmade chain. And I'm just going to connect. Can you guys hear the thunder? I mean, it's so loud here, but I'm just wondering if you can hear it in the video. So, and do you have, is it thundering? Is it storming wherever you are? Okay, guys, so we're going to cut this off and pinch in the end. Okay, this is such a simple project, you guys. All right, so let's see what we have next. So once we've made our little handmade chain using our 7 beads on each side, so you have 7 beads on one side, 7 beads on the other side, and so next we connect to chain. And I don't quite remember how much chain you get in this kit. But what I do remember is that if you use the entire length of chain, it is going to give you 36 inches. So the maximum for this project is 36 inches. So right now I'm just finding the center. And once I find the center, I am going to cut through that center link. So you can trim some of the chain right now if you want to. I don't know, let's say you already know you only want to make a 30-inch necklace or a 24-inch necklace. You can cut it off right now, or you can do that in a little bit. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and connect our chain into our loop. So again, I left my loop open so that I could connect with the chain, and now I'm going to wrap my loop. Again, the same 2 little coils into that space that I left exactly for this purpose. So let's snip that off. And so we'll do a snip and pinch. And now we're about to do the same thing on the other side. So again, I have my loop, and I'm taking the end of the chain and just sliding it right into the loop. And we're going to hold on to the loop with our chain nose pliers while we coil into our little 1 millimeter space. And once we have those 2 coils, we are done. And pinch. And this is what we have now. So we have our focal point piece, then we have our little handmade section of chain on either side, and finally we have connected to our chain. So at this point, if you have not yet adjusted the length, you can just you know, go to the mirror, decide how long you want it, and keep in mind that on one of the sides we're going to have an extender chain, and on the other side we're going to have a lobster clasp. And of course, our extender chain is going to add 3 inches to the overall length. So decide how long you want it, and so either cut some off or don't. And now we are going to connect our lobster clasp to our chain on one side. And of course, because this necklace does not really have a front or a back, it doesn't matter which side we put our lobster clasp on. And because, you know, if it does have a front and a back, you always want your lobster clasp on the side of your dominant hand. And when it doesn't matter, well, you just do it however you do it. So I use my chain nose and my flat nose pliers to open my rings, and I always hold them like this at a 90-degree angle. This way it's nice and easy, and as I open the jump ring, I kind of push the two sides together just a little bit to overlap. Okay, can you guys hear the rain right now? And did you hear the thunder before? Did anybody say anything about the thunder? Okay, so yeah, it's the forces of nature are really there's going to be a lightning show, I think, in a few minutes. So I just connected my extender chain right here. And now within the same position of our pliers, we're going to wiggle the jump ring closed. Okay, I did a little wiggle actually because it wasn't overlapped enough. So I pushed the two sides ever so slightly closer together, and now we're going to hear a little click. And there it is. The click tells us that there's no room between the two sides of our jump ring.
Fonda says, I can hear the rain in the video.
Oh, you can.
I bet you can hear it outside too.
Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah, isn't that funny? I always wonder what you guys can hear. So yes, it's getting to be pretty stormy. It's very, very dark outside. I'm thinking I'm not going for a walk with my little doggy today, sadly. But we did go on 2 really nice walks today, so it's all good. Okay, ladies, and guess what? We're done. It's like you blink and you miss it. It's such a quick and simple project. Of course, yes, I cheated a little bit. Did I say I pre-made the chain? But it's actually through the magic of Facebook Live. But either way, it's a very, very fun and quick project. And well, let's put them all back on my workspace, and I'll tell you the color names again. So we have the tropical citrus right here in front. So that is the tropical citrus. And then we have kaleidoscope for obvious reasons. And finally, the one that I demoed today is the tropical lagoon. I guess I'm in a very tropical mode right now.
Vanessa says, so pretty. I love it. Please send the rain to Texas.
Oh, thank you so much, Vanessa.
I wish we could.
And oh my gosh, I wish we could. Yes. You guys need rain, I know. But I have to say, I'm a little bit happy about the rain, because not only do our flowers need it and all of that, but in a short, I don't know, what, month and a half, a couple of months, we are going to have some beautiful fall colors. And I'm told that the more it rains, the more beautiful the fall colors. So I have to say, I'm a little bit happy about the rain, that is. Okay, ladies, so these are the colorways, and of course they're all available in our Etsy shop right now. And now I'm going to do a little preview of everything that is going on. Wow, that was impressive thunder right there. I don't know if you guys heard it. Okay, so well, first of all, let me remind you, we have a pretty awesome sale going on in our Etsy shop. And because, you know, we're redoing some of our Etsy shop. It is not going away. And, you know, so we're keeping it. But we are going to be taking many different items out of the Etsy shop. So that is why we're having this sale, and it's 40% off, and we have approximately 400 items on sale. And the sale ends this Sunday. And I know many of you have been ordering. Thank you so much for your orders. But if you have not yet ordered, take a look at the Etsy shop. I think you will like what you see. Okay, so moving right along. Tomorrow, for my Facebook Live shopping event, I'm going to do something incredibly fun. And so here's my 1 items that I chose to represent what I'm doing tomorrow. And so this is from my travels to Morocco from many years ago. And I kept some samples, but I think it's time for my samples to go to your wonderful homes. And so tomorrow you are going to see not only some of my Moroccan treasures, which is actually part of how I started my business by importing from Morocco, but tomorrow is going to be probably the most eclectic shopping event of all time because it is treasures from around the world. So in addition to my Moroccan boxes and flasks like this, we're going to have some Kenyan sandcast beads, we're going to have some trade beads, and just so much more. It is the most eclectic collection that I have ever put together for a single video. So I'm very excited about that. And, but wait, there's more. So then next Thursday, that's going to be August the 8th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, on my jewelry design page, I will be making whimsical dragonfly sun catchers. And we have made many sun catchers before. These can be sun catchers, they can be ornaments, but I think, you know, color-wise, they're definitely more sun catchers than ornaments. You can also hang something like this. It could be a little ornament for your plants. So I have these whimsical dragonflies for next Thursday.
Kim K says, gorgeous necklace.
Oh, thank you so much, Kim.
Lynn says, nothing up here in Manitowoc yet.
Oh, no, is it coming?
And she loves a good thunderstorm.
Oh, you know what? Me too. I love it as long as I don't have to run to the basement for shelter. As long as the sirens are not going, I'm perfectly happy in a thunderstorm. Yeah, it's kind of exciting to just witness that amazing force of nature. Okay, ladies, and just a teeny little preview for next Friday. This is like a whole week plus a day from now. And this, I have not quite put together the entire collection for next Friday, but I will tell you that it will include some one-of-a-kind lampwork beads and some faceted glass strands rather, and some gemstones. And I'm sure there will be other surprises, not just to you, but also to me. So I think we're done for tonight. And so thank you so much for watching. And I hope you guys picked out your favorites. I think they're all my favorites. I love color, you guys. I just love the vibrant colors on all of these. And so if you are at home, stay safe, stay dry. If it's not raining, go for a walk maybe. Go for me, you know, I will be going with you and through you vicariously.
Karen says, thank you. Beautiful design inspiration.
Thank you so much, Karen. Okay, guys, and this is it. This is the end of tonight's video. So I hope you join me tomorrow for my very eclectic collection from around the world. It's going to be very exciting, a lot of very unusual pieces. And in the meantime, Have a wonderful and creative evening.